Tēnā koutou, no mai haere mai. That means hello everyone and welcome to Manifestors Unite. Kia ora, I am your host Kamel Riley, and in this video we are going to go deep into the stars of this week, and I will explain how you can understand more about Māori astrology. And so in the tradition of my wāhine ancestors, see here I'm wearing a hei tiki. And a hei tiki is a guardian ancestor that is carved and we wear around our neck, particularly us wāhine. In the tradition of my Māori ancestors, we're from a kind of a lake under a big mountain. We will give a little karakia, and in this case it's got a little prayer or an invocation to start. And I'm going to make it really short, and that is Aroha mai, Aroha atu. And really that little invocation is to come into your heart space and to really bring love into this big week. So I don't know about you, but it has been so huge. And there's a reason for that. If you don't know, we're in a spiral galaxy. We're on one of the arms. We've crossed the galactic equator and we're heading into this place where a lot more feminine, matriarchal support, a lot more receiving and allowing. There's a lot of light streaming down through a place called Te Ikaroa, and Te Ikaroa is the galactic center. It's actually the golden heart of our spiral galaxy, and on either side of our spiral galaxy are two big light sources or orbs, or trillions of star orbs, which are holding everything in place. A really simple way to understand this and apply this is just think about yourself. So at the heart, think of your heart and how it beats. Well, at the heart of our galaxy is this golden orb called Te Ikaroa in our culture, which is the place of all nothingness and all everythingness. And to really understand this, we use the sidereal system, the sidereal star, which basically maps everything in relation to each other, not just the Earth, which is the tropical system. And at 27 degrees of Sagittarius, or about 5 degrees sidereal Sagittarius. So when I say that, that is a reference in the sky to these constellations which are in our galaxy, but where we can see from Earth. So this is a time, this point, exact on June 18, which is why I've recorded this video transmission for you before that date. So on June 18th, that whole golden orb will be open through the axis of Gemini and Sagittarius. And if you want to see it, use the sidereal system, which is the astronomical system for the locations of these objects in relation to where we are on Earth. You can go outside, you can get your app. There are so many different apps. And just really look for the Sagittarius constellation. It's super easy where I live in Aotearoa, New Zealand, because we're basically right under it. Sagittarius and Scorpio are big constellations for us. We see them all the time. They're southern constellations. So it's really easy. If you're in another place, you might need to use your app. And this is a very special time when the Galactic Center opens, June the 18th exact, and at the other end of the year, it's about the 19th of December when it's exact, or the 20th of December in Aotearoa, because we're 12 hours ahead. So this is a very special time, not just for stargazers, but because of the amount of light that's pouring in that golden heart. It is a time when you're meditating, your love, your aroha, because love, aroha, is the greatest frequency. It is the only frequency in the universe, and it is a positive universe, no matter what we tell ourselves on holographic Earth. But really our love can reach around the globe, our Earthship, and further beyond. And aside from that, on other areas within our spiral galaxy, there is this resounding transmission, this resounding opportunity to upgrade, to elevate, to become higher. And this is why it's so important as a day for silence, as a day for being more loving, as a day for kindness and compassion for other beings and inanimate objects on our Earth, and really just to give love to ourselves and our family. So we've got some important holidays happening around this time in Aotearoa, New Zealand, which is the Māori New Year, or Matariki. But this opening of Te Ikaroa on June 18 through Gemini and Sagittarius is igniting thoughts and beliefs. Okay, we're going to get into the stars a bit. The second system I want to talk to you about is the sidereal star system. And in the south, we are claiming back our whakapapa, whetū, that's the lineage of the stars, in us, our starseed origins, but we're also telling different stories. And the primary reason for that is when you're in the south and you're looking up at the sky, we are looking at a very different sky to you. We can't see Polaris, and the stories are very different. For example, Scorpio, we're not seeing the same malefic stars. We're seeing Rehua or Antares as the heart of the Milky Way, Te Ikaroa as the heart of the universe. Even for the star constellation Orion, which is also being opened, it's not quite open, but it is opening with that guiding star Puaka or Puanga in the north, and for you, that's Rigel. So Orion is upside down for us, and we have very different stories, largely to do with these ancestors and the growing of Kai. So we are taking back these traditions. But it's not just us. Many Indigenous cultures are looking at the myths of the stars in the sky and beginning to reclaim their own stories. And I encourage you to do this if you are Māori, Pacific, or any Indigenous culture, to look beyond the fixed star, malefic, largely, stories, to look past the Roman myths that were created with the Gregorian calendar, to look into the Mayan traditions, to look into the Vedic traditions, to look into all of the traditions where your ancestors have travelled throughout the ages and reclaim the stories. Okay, so the third system I want to talk to you about is the positions of the planets. So not only are we in a spiral galaxy, but we have our own solar system, which orientates around a star. The sun is a star. The sun is our soul star. If you really want to deepen your meditation, find a practice that takes you into the sun, either to shut down your shallow, everyday, stale, recycled, manifesting thinking, but also just to enable you to become a star navigator, to explore or to astral travel if you want to put it, but really to explore the sky in your mind, because through quantum physics, when we are both sitting in our body, but also out there in the galaxy, we're in both places or multiple places in the multiverse at once. So that's a kind of cool thing that you can do. So the planetary system that we use as Māori astronomers, well, actually there's not that many, there's just a few of Māori astrologers like me. We use the tropical system, and that is the house system, and that is the geo system that looks at the sun's ecliptic path. Not the sun moving around us, but the Earth's orbit with the other planets in relation to our sun star. And essentially, I call this the holographic Earth. And I'm going to get closer here because this is really important. So it doesn't really matter that through the precession of the equinoxes, that when you're looking for the planets, that they actually appear about 24 degrees back in the sidereal system. It doesn't really matter because we have the system. This is a holographic Earth. This is the projected stories, the thoughts and the feelings, whether they're our own, whether they are family, whether they are society, and don't think there's unanimity in that. There's a lot of differences. There's no homogenistic story that operates. Obviously, there's some stronger collective stories, but fundamentally, everything on Earth that we think we are seeing is a holographic projection of our own thoughts and our own feelings, and more importantly, our beliefs. So the tropical system is based on the 12 realms of experience, and they're like houses, and I think that really sums up the whole tropical astrology system. It is manufactured. It is based around storytelling from a Northern Hemisphere perspective. It's completely valid if you choose to believe it, and it can have some resonance in terms of helping you understand how life works down here. But ultimately, it's all about you, and it's all about you finding your way through these systems and making sense, which brings me to the last system. And I know I've covered a huge body of both old as well as this new reclaimed galactic astrology that's leading us out of that 90% holographic Earth, planetary focused house system, tropical. but really into more of our intuitive systems, and that's the maramataka. So the maramataka in Māori culture is a moon-based calendar and a lunar calendar, and it works around the periods, the 12 periods of the year, from the new moon to the black moon, and on the third year we have to do a catch-up and add a 13th month. It works around what we observe in nature, so starting with the stars, coming into the air, coming onto the land, and then into the water, and it weaves in the stories of how we can look after our families, how we can revere our ancestors, and how we can carry our ability to grow food by looking after our planet, by observing our moon. And the moon and the earth are very closely connected. They always have been. They are through synestia, and if you want to look up synestia, you can do that. There's some really amazing knowledge around this. But essentially what the maramataka, or the Māori moon calendar, does is to help you deepen your practice with nature, to help you deepen your practice with divinity, and to help you tap into your ancestors. And the primary body of ancestors that all of us can tap into on the day and in the month with the maramataka is Te Ikaroa, the Milky Way, because Te Ikaroa is the long fish. It's the long waka. Every single one of our ancestors, our beloved ones, our guides, our higher authority, are resting in Te Ikaroa in my culture. And this helped us to navigate the Pacific. Many years ago, we navigated all around the Pacific with the light of the stars, with the light of Te Ikaroa, with the ancestral wisdom that was passed down from mouth to mouth, ear to ear, through the family lines and through the tribal lines. So, but all of us can tap into this. And as a galactic astrologer, I have found that the more I tap into the power of Te Ikaroa, the Milky Way, the more this ability to explain, to clarify, and to reclaim the indigenous pathways of my ancestors, the indigenous starways of my ancestors, because at heart, all of us have the galaxy in our DNA, we have it in our bodies, we have it as part of our non-physical auric field. And we are receiving, and I'm coming back to this galactic center, we are receiving this golden light, particularly on June the 18th, that's Aotearoa, June the 17th in the rest of the world. Particularly this light is coming through to elevate, to integrate, to upgrade, so let's use it. Okay, that's all I have to say. Links are below if you want to reach out. I really would love to have you as a subscriber. If you like this video, please like. If you have any comments, please share them. I love to be hit up with comments, especially ones that challenge me to explain this better. And I look forward to seeing you. Have an amazing Te Kori day. May the opening of our spiral galaxy heart blow your own heart up with love and light and elevation and integration. And with that, ending with the karakia, aroha mai, aroha atu. Love given is love returned. Mauri ora.